Hey everyone, it's Raymond. Today I'm going to be making strawberry dumplings. So here's the ingredients. We have 1 cup of it's not all-purpose flour, it's self-rising flour, 2 tablespoons of real butter, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and 6 tablespoons of milk. That's going to be your dumplings. And for the fruit, we've got strawberries. That's a little bit over a full pint of strawberries that I've already cleaned. They've been in the freezer. I've got a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and 1 cup of water. You're going to need a big pot, and it needs to be round enough where your dumplings can set in there in a single layer. Okay, let's get the dumplings started. You want your heat to be on medium heat. While that's going, go ahead and dump in your strawberries. It's not going to hurt them because they are frozen, so my pot was on a little bit. So anyway, it's going to start thawing them out. Now this is where you want to put your cornstarch right into your water. Let's get your cornstarch dissolved before we put it in. So I'm going to let that dissolve for a minute. Go ahead and dump in your sugar. Now, this cornstarch is going to feel a little thick at the bottom, so you want to keep stirring it until it's smooth and dissolved. And I think that's good there. So dump in your water with your cornstarch. Go ahead and give it a little stir. Let that just forget about it for a little bit. Started with the dumplings. So we've got our mixture over there getting heated up and cooking. Go ahead and dump your self-rising flour in, and go ahead and put your butter in. Oh, it looks like I still have some of this packaging on that. Okay, there we go. So you want to just use a fork. And it doesn't matter if it's frozen or room temperature, but you're going to use a fork to kind of get it incorporated into this flour. So I'm not going to show you guys the whole thing when I'm doing it, because I want my video to be short and sweet, but I'll be right back. And I'm back, and I've got the butter completely incorporated. You want it to be kind of like sandy, basically. And it's okay, perfectly okay to use your hands on this one. Okay, now let's go ahead and add the 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and go ahead and mix in your 6 tablespoons of milk. And I'm just going to use the same fork that I was using to incorporate the butter. And you just want to mix it up, and here in a minute I'm probably going to get my hands in it. So when we come back, this will be a dough ball. Okay, there's our formed dough ball. Now you don't want to mess with it too much, because you want them to be nice and fluffy whenever you put them into your pot. So right over here, we still have the strawberries cooking over here. That's going to go on for a little bit longer. It's okay. These are kind of big strawberries, so it's going to take a little bit for them to cook down, but don't worry, just leave it on medium heat and they should do fine. So now I'm going to go ahead and start forming my little dumplings. You don't want, you don't want a big giant dumpling. So I'd say no bigger than 1 inch. And you just make your dumplings. So I'm going to make more dumplings, and I'll be right back. We've got a light boil going, and so here's my dumplings, and we're going to drop them in one at a time. You just want to drop them in. You don't want to dump them all in there. Now some of my dumplings aren't perfectly the same size, but it doesn't you know, it doesn't really matter. You just don't want them bigger than 1 inch. So if you can go ahead and just drop them in, and you want your pot to be big enough where you get a single layer, because you do not want these to get on top of each other, okay? You want to make sure that they are in a single layer, because they won't get done. So keep dropping them in, and try to make sure you have like an even layer. And you know, they're still going to bubble up. All right, so I got all my dumplings in, and you know, humidity is going to have an effect. You know, the temperature outside today, it's not really extremely warm, so these should do fine. But you know, when you're cooking anything with dough, you always have to take into effect the humidity. All right, so it may take a little bit longer to cook these. It may take not as long. So cover up all your dumplings with the juice that's down in there. Try to keep them from sticking to each other, because you want all that juice to get inside that dumpling. All that good flavor. All right, so you don't want to mess with them very much once you get that, because they will fall apart. And so you put a lid on it, and then we're going to set our timer for about 12 minutes, and we'll be back whenever the timer goes off. Hey, our timer's gone off, so let's check on them. So this is what they look like. They're going to be a little steamy. Let me wipe off the camera. There we go. Now you don't want to stir these, okay? But they are going to be a little firm, which they are. And these look really good. These look like they're ready to go. So yeah, these are ready. Okay, so you'll know just by touching them, and you don't, like I said, you don't want to stir these at all, because your dumplings will fall apart, and you don't want that, okay? So when we come back, I'll have these plated up and ready to eat. Don't forget to turn your stove off first. There we go. Okay, we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, we're back, and I've got them all plated. You can serve these with ice cream, with cream like I'm doing here, or you can eat them plain. Actually, they're best just plain and warm. So there you have it. I've used my Stillwell strawberries to make strawberry dumplings. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know if you try out this recipe in the comments section. Please remember to like and subscribe, and please share this video with your friends and family. You guys have a wonderful evening. God bless.